Yesterday I made a video about organ donation and about what the hospital honor walk was all about, what it looked like. I showed you an example of a young man who had a beautiful honor walk in the state of Pennsylvania at a hospital there. Today I wanted to continue on with that topic, and I wanted to remember with you a friend of mine, Shayla, her daughter. Her daughter's name is Kelsey. But before I tell you what happened to Kelsey, I want to tell you a little about her, show you pictures of her, tell you what her personality was like, so that we can, as we think about the selflessness of she and others who have become organ tissue donors, I want to remember her for the person that she was. So this young lady lived in a small area, small town of North Dakota. She lived with her parents and her two sisters. And at the age of 15, she passed away. She loved the piano. She loved playing volleyball. She taught herself how to bow hunt. She liked to go hunting with her father and her sisters. Did I already say she liked volleyball too? She was an honor student, a selfless young woman at the tender age of 15 when she got her driver's license. She, at that time, spoke with her parents about it, about the option to check the box and make sure on the driver's license that she got that she was able to be an organ donor. She was proud of that and she talked about that. But little do we know, we just don't know about life, and it is so unpredictable and fragile. But we never know when those choices that we make come to fruition, and they did for her. I also want to tell you in as much detail as I can what her donations have done for others. And her mother, Shayla, has given me all of this information and is just a grieving mother. Her parents will be, and her sisters will be, for the rest of their lives, have that empty, sad loss, though life has gone on for them. But for those of you who've experienced it, you know that it doesn't go on the same. However, I think that after listening to her parents speak about her and about her donation, that it helped them to feel that, as they put it, her death was not in vain. Yes, let me read exactly what her mom's words were. Her death was not in vain. They live on, those that are organ tissue donors. They live on in others as they pass. They continue on. And they also have had the opportunity to meet one of the people that has been a recipient of an organ donation of Kelsey's. So I want to tell you about that. Before we get into that, let's talk again, just real quick, in case you didn't see the other video. What is an honor walk? An honor walk, because the reason why I wanted to do a video or two about an honor walk and describe it, show it to you, because it's a beautiful experience, a supportive and powerful symbol of unity, of compassion, and gratitude for the person who is an organ and tissue donor. It gives support and gratitude to the family. An honor walk is something done in a hospital where, when the individual has been declared dead and there is no chance of survival, the decision is made, but before the decision might be made, but before the surgery takes place to remove those organs and tissue, a team of people from the organ donation center come and speak with the family. And a lot of testing is done, lab tests and so forth, and other things are done. And decisions are then made of possibly what donation can be made, and they go from there. Now, in Kelsey's case, in June of 2012, she had an accident. And okay, I want to make sure I got it absolutely correct. Yes, it was June 2012, 5 days in the peds ICU. And then on the 26th of June, that is when she went in for surgery, and it was a 6-hour operation. After the donor surgery, she received a raising of the donor flag. The organization, and like I talked about in yesterday's video, there are many across the country and in the world, but the organization of the donor procurement team that spoke with the family is LifeSource. And what Shayla said, Kelsey's mom, is she said that we were able to have an open casket funeral, which meant a lot to them because of the care that was taken when Kelsey had surgery. They had to they did remove organs, remember, and they also removed some bone. They removed her eyes for research. But I didn't even know this, but her mother educated me on this, that when the team has removed those body parts, they also are able to put, how do I say this? They put in, not real, of course, other body parts in and make sure that the person is whole. So that means a lot to a lot of people. They want their person to come back to them whole, unless, of course, they decide on cremation. But so she looked beautiful, and parents were able to have an open casket ceremony for her. I realize this is a sensitive subject. We talk about what happens after death. If somebody is considering organ donation, if somebody is experiencing a loved one right now who is perhaps not going to live and organ donation has been brought up to them. This is a subject that evokes a lot of emotion, and there's no easy way to talk about it. Death makes us feel uncomfortable sometimes, makes us feel very sad, and this topic is not for everybody. The topic of organ donation is something that is some cultures, some religions, some people just have a really hard time with it, and that's okay. Completely respect that. This might be something that you just listen to if you are interested and learn a little bit more of what can happen and listen to a person's personal journey into organ donation and what people were helped from her selfless act. I've been in communication with Kelsey's mother. Well, we are on Facebook together and talk, off and on a lot about different subjects. And I had, when she told me about, you should do a video about the honor walk, she's right. And I've been wanting to do that. But as our communication's been going back and forth, her answering these specific questions, I want to make sure I got it right. I want to know everything more about Kelsey. What about these recipients? How has LifeSource helped you? And also with LifeSource or any other company that you deal with, the team that is going to help you and walk you through the organ donation of your loved one, they are there to hold your hand, to talk you through it, to explain everything. And as Shayla has said, they're part of the family. They are there to honor your father, mother, son, daughter, just as you are honoring them. This is a really difficult decision. It's a personal decision. And if the recipient of the organ wants to be in contact, they would go through LifeSource. And as Shayla has said, it was about a year later that they were able to communicate with the two recipients, the young men. Okay, let's talk about the unfortunate event that led to this. And the family has not had to just get over the fact that their child at age 15 passed away, go through all you have to endure in the peds ICU, hoping and praying that her head injury, that the surgeries can help her, that she might wake up, but she did not. It's excruciating what they had to go through. But to make the pain worse, their daughter Kelsey was on her four-wheeler and was on the side of the road in their neighborhood. She was sideswiped by a gentleman in a vehicle, but that gentleman happened to be the mayor of their small town. He didn't get in trouble. He didn't say he was sorry. He didn't do anything, and they took this to their attorneys, and they did proceed with a civil suit. They won the civil suit, but to make everything worse again, this mayor called them the F word, and his family made their lives a living hell. How do we get through these things in life when compounded into the worst time of your life, you have years of litigation and attorneys and trying to make it right, trying to make somebody accountable for what they did just so that they can call you an effer. So they have strength and they have made it through, but they've been through an awful lot of heartache and emotional pain. Let's talk about what Kelsey's gift of life has given to other people. Her mother shared with me and said first names are perfectly okay, and they are in communication with with one of them, they're in communication with one of the young men through Christmas cards, and then they have met up with the other young man and have had communication with that person. Kelsey's heart valves went to a young woman who then was able to go on in her life and have children. Apparently, if you have older valves, not from a 15-year-old, for example, the rejection might be a bit different, and going on in your life to have a pregnancy that's considered high risk after you've had valve surgery or valve replacements, and this person was able to do that. Kelsey's liver went to a young child named Luke. Luke, like I said, this was in 2012, so Luke has now grown up to be a healthy young man. Kelsey's kidney and pancreas went to a gentleman named Shane. He was a truck driver and continues now to be able to work and support his family and have a life again with those 2 organs that she donated to him. Bone was donated from Kelsey. And lastly, her eyes were donated for research. All of this with the eye, with bone, with tissue donation, with the organs have helped many, many, many people. They've been able to go on and have a life again and be healthy people again. This is the ultimate in a selfless act. And like I mentioned in my other video, it is a personal choice, but I just want to remind people that it isn't all or nothing. You don't have to donate everything or never mind donate nothing. You can choose if you want to say, I want my heart, lungs, liver to be used in donation, then you can specify that. However, there are certain organs. For example, Kelsey could not donate her heart because she did have heart attacks when she was in the peds ICU, which made it so that her heart was not healthy enough to be donated. Things like that can happen. We don't know. You think, I just want to be a donor of my heart, but that might not turn out the way you want at the end of your life based on factors beyond your control. I will just put up a few pictures because I want you to see what an honor walk looks like. This again is honoring, showing respect, showing support to the family. Everybody is there to escort that person from the intensive care unit or their hospital room through the hospital to the operating room. As I mentioned in my other video, but I want to reiterate here, as I always do when I'm making videos for you guys about how to make life a little easier when you're in the hospital or when you make decisions or you're up against some things you're unclear about. Be sure that you communicate clearly and you have full understanding of things before you go forward with those things. For example, on this topic of, say, the honor walk, it's okay to have it be completely silent. Or it's okay to sing. It's okay to wrap that person in a blanket that you know is their favorite, or with children to put stuffed animals and other things in there for the children that were their favorite toys. It's okay for somebody to lay in that bed, a mother with her child, for example, or teenager. But please feel free to ask for those things. I talked about faux candles. I talked about flowers. Ask. It's okay to ask. If you don't fully understand what all of it means, don't live with regret. Ask. Ask the donation team. Ask the social worker, the case manager, the nurse. Everything needs to be on hold for a minute until I fully understand what's going on. All of your questions are valid. All of your questions are important. And what you want for your loved one, your child, your husband, wife, mother is critically important. So please feel free to ask all of your questions. Don't feel that it's a stupid question, and don't live with regret. When it comes to children, pediatric patients, they also, the family members can also request to or agree to have organ donation of their child. I'm I'm not positive of the youngest pediatric patient. I'm going to look that up and I'm going to post some information about that so that you know. But children, yes. Babies for donation, yes. And babies need a liver. The recipients are there waiting. Remember, there's so many people waiting. As I mentioned, when it comes to children, pediatric patients, they also, the family members can also request to or agree to have organ donation of their child. It's supposed to be a gentle process, a supportive process, and a process of complete communication and disclosure. No surprises and no areas where you're just not sure what are you really going to do back there. You know, what's this going to look like when you're done? So again, ask your questions. Don't always believe everything that you see on TV. It's probably not true. I'm not positive of the youngest pediatric patient, but I believe it was 6 months. I'm going to look that up and I'm going to post some information about that so that you know. But children, yes. Babies for donation, yes. And babies need a liver. The recipients are there waiting. Remember, there's so many people waiting. I just wanted to kind of clear up some things and hope that this was helpful. And mainly, this video is for Kelsey. This video is for Kelsey's mom and her whole family, her father, her sisters. They had to endure something that we all can only imagine. And then at the end of it all, they have donations of Kelsey's organs, bone, eyes, tissue that have gone on to research and to other humans that can have a life that's full and healthy. So thank you to Kelsey for your selfless final act of life and your selfless, beautiful spirit. For those of you who like topics like this, if you find this kind of thing informative, please share. Please consider subscribing. I do a lot of videos on health topics. Some of them are deep and sensitive, and others are just a lot of fun. I will see you at the next video.